This is a Scriptcast, a dramatized read-through of a screenplay. Bright Forest Productions presents the Scriptcast of the fan film screenplay, Enthralled, a Skyrim story in 4 parts by Stephen P. Sherwood. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. Part 4. Exterior, near the ambush site, day. Varina and her entourage move through the woods. She notices that Phaedra is constantly looking around.
Your insistence on movement is distracting.
Sorry, mistress. It's been some time since I left the lair, and the world outside is filled with dangers.
You are a vampire. Now act like one. There is nothing we need fear.
Yes, of course, mistress.
Exterior, ambush site, day. Corwyn and his party are spread out on their positions behind cover. Ivor is watching from behind a stand of trees some distance away. Jorgen raises a hand in the air to indicate that Varina is in sight. Corwyn sees, then raises his hand to alert the others. Tense moments pass as Varina's group walks by. As Rolf and Gromir reach 10 yards past Jorgen, he quietly knocks a glass arrow. Stepping out of cover, he carefully aims and fires his arrow toward Rolf. Rolf yells from the shock and pain of the arrow now sticking out of his left thigh. As he turns toward the threat, so does Gromir, who prepares to return fire with his bow. Rolf crumples to the ground, paralyzed. Jorgen starts firing at Gromir as Lars breaks cover and runs toward him, sword out and shield up to deflect his arrows. Varina and the rest of her group turn as soon as they hear Rolf yell. Varina watches as Phaedra and Griselda run toward the fight. Vanguard thralls Kilki and Bjorn turn and begin to run, but turn back as Helgir attacks them with arrows and Eric begins a sword fight with Bjorn. When Phaedra and Griselda attack Jorgen and Lars, Mira attacks Phaedra with magic, and Freyr mistakenly draws a glass arrow and fires it at Griselda, paralyzing her. Realizing his mistake, Freyr shrugs, pulls out a regular arrow and attacks Varina as Corwyn begins to duel with her. The vampires attack with Vampiric Drain, a spell that pulls a stream of blood droplets from their target, draining health from their victim and replenishing their own. The fighting continues, and the battle area expands as the combatants take cover behind trees and move for better position. Ivor watches anxiously while staying out of sight. With Griselda down, Jorgen and Lars run to help Mira take down Phaedra. As they turn away, Griselda comes out of paralysis. She stands, looking around and then casting a spell to resurrect Gromir. Overwhelmed by the onslaught of Mira, Jorgen, and Lars, Phaedra runs away and Mira takes chase. Jorgen and Lars fail to see that Griselda and Gromir have been coming up behind them. As they turn back, Griselda attacks Jorgen, and Gromir plunges a dagger into Lars, killing him. Jorgen fires arrows at Griselda as she attacks him with Vampiric Drain. Gromir pulls his dagger from Lars, who drops to the ground, then turns and runs at Jorgen. Jorgen doesn't see Gromir until the last moment, and as Gromir tries to stab him with a dagger, Jorgen bashes him with his sword, knocking him back. Jorgen staggers from the blood drain, and Gromir comes at him again. Just as he reaches him, there is an explosion of electrical bolts, which turns Gromir into ash, and we see Mira behind him. Mira begins to duel with Griselda as Jorgen pulls a health potion from his pocket.
Did you get her?
No, I have this. You go after her.
Mira continues to exchange spells with Griselda. Jorgen drinks the potion and stands, but doesn't see that Rolf is getting up behind him. As he turns, Rolf runs at him, axe held high. Before he can react, a glass arrow hits Rolf, and he drops. Jorgen looks up to see Freyr wave at him. He returns the wave, then runs off after Phaedra. Helgir is in a running battle with Kilki as they fire arrows at each other, dodging between trees. Eric and Bjorn fight with sword and shield.
That's your best, huh?
Eric looks at him curiously as they fight.
Your voice sounds familiar.
I'm gonna slit you open like an old woman's purse.
Bjorn's helmet covers part of his face, so with a deft move, Eric knocks the helmet off and recognizes him.
Uncle Bjorn?
Bjorn rushes him and Eric knocks him aside.
Uncle, it's me, Eric.
They continue to fight, and Eric uses his shield to repeatedly bash Bjorn until he goes down on one knee.
Enough. I yield.
Really? You're the one who taught me the I yield trick, Uncle.
Do your worst.
Bjorn lunges at him as Eric sidesteps and uses his sword's pommel to hit him on the head, knocking Bjorn out. Helgir dodges arrows from Kilki as she finds cover behind a tree. Breathing heavily, she pulls a glass arrow from her quiver and knocks it on the bowstring. She gasps as Kilki grabs her from behind and puts a dagger at her throat.
I'll try and make this quick.
Helgir grabs the glass arrow and strikes behind her to stab Kilki.
Like a bite of a flea. It's nothing.
Kilki collapses from the paralyzing poison and drops to the ground. Helgir grabs her dagger and puts it at Kilki's chest, ready to kill her. She hesitates, then puts the dagger away, pulling leather strips from a pocket. Varina casts a lightning bolt at Corwyn as he staggers. Phaedra then attacks him from behind with blood drain, as Varina does the same. Corwyn goes down on one knee. Ivor sees that Corwyn is in trouble.
No!
He pulls a dagger out and runs off screen. Freer alternates between firing at Griselda and Varina. He sees Corwyn drop to one knee and pulls a glass arrow out, sighting it carefully on Varina. As he lets the arrow fly, Corwyn suddenly stands and shouts with unrelenting force.
Force!
Varina staggers back, which pushes her clear of the arrow, and it strikes Corwyn instead. He yanks the arrow out, then drops to one knee. Shocked, Freer frantically fits another arrow. Varina chuckles with an evil smile, turning to attack Freer with a lightning bolt that knocks him unconscious. She turns back to Corwyn, resuming her vampiric drain spell as Phaedra does the same. As he struggles to get up, Varina comes closer to taunt him.
A shout? Only a dragonborn could do that. How delicious that now I'll be known throughout the land as the slayer of the dragon slayer.
She laughs as Corwyn gets a health potion from his pocket, knocking it out of his hands before he can drink it.
Too late for that. I'll mount your head.
She stops her spell and gasps with a gurgle to see a dagger sticking out of her chest. Ivor appears behind her.
That's for Rolf and all those you've killed, bitch.
Corwyn turns and fires a lightning bolt at Phaedra, knocking her down. Regaining his stamina, he stands, pulling out his sword. He nods to Ivor, who yanks his dagger out and steps aside, as Corwyn plunges his sword into Varina.
You busted. Mercy!
This is mercy, because this time you'll stay dead.
He twists the sword and Varina dies with a scream. Phaedra bursts from cover, attacking Corwyn with vampiric drain.
No!
She jerks forward and her spell fails as an arrow hits her in the back. She spins around and another arrow hits her in the chest, and she drops to the ground, dead. Mira and Griselda are fighting with spells when they hear Varina's death scream. Distracted, Griselda turns away and Mira dual casts a fireball spell which kills Griselda. Eric watches as Bjorn, who's tied to a tree, jerks awake, looking around startled and confused. Helgir arrives.
Didn't kill yours either, I see.
Where am I? What's happening?
It's all right, Uncle.
Why am I tied up?
Uncle, what's your name?
Don't be daft, boy. I'm Bjorn. Now untie me.
I should check on mine.
Helgir runs off. Kilki, also tied to a tree, looks around bewildered as Helgir approaches her.
How did I get here? Why am I tied?
It's all right. Here, I'll untie you.
She unties her as Kilki looks around, confused.
What?
I'll explain everything, but right now you just need to follow me.
They leave. Mira and Jorgen are with Rolf as he stirs and awakens. He looks around uncertainly.
I don't know what's happening.
Jorgen helps him up.
You're with us now. You're fine.
Us? Do you know me?
Yes, Rolf, it's us, remember? I'm Mira, and he's Jorgen.
Kind of.
Corwyn and Ivor arrive. Ivor runs to Rolf, giving him a hug.
Thank the gods you're back. Rolf, who am I?
Rolf looks at him searchingly for a moment until recognition comes.
Ivor, what's going on? Why am I here?
Eric, Bjorn, Helgir, and Kilki arrive.
And who are all these people?
They tense as the others arrive, and Eric holds up a hand.
It's all right. They're free.
Good. I'm glad you didn't have to kill them.
If I'd killed Bjorn, I would have never heard the end of it.
You know him?
He's my uncle. Disappeared 2 years ago.
2 years? What are you on about?
You were thralls, all three of you.
He motions to them.
What?
You're making no sense. Once you're a Trog, that's it.
You can thank Ivar. He killed Varina.
Ivor? Is this true?
Corwyn made the killing blow.
Which I couldn't have done without your help.
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Varina made you all thralls. Killing her freed you.
The three former thralls are surprised.
There is much to explain, but we should do that at the end.
They begin walking away. Rolf talks to Ivor.
Did you call him Corwyn?
Yeah.
So he's the...
He is.
How?
Patience, brother. You're going to need a drink for this.
Corwyn and Eric are walking together.
It would appear that my investment in you has paid off. You acquitted yourself well today.
Thank you, Corwyn. I'm relieved to hear you say that.
Of course, you also get your share of the reward.
That's great, but I'd really like something more.
More?
Yes, I'd like to come with you. I know I can learn a lot from you, and you can count on me to have your back.
Are you sure you won't miss the farming life?
Nah, this just feels right. It's the adventurer's life for me.
Jorgen is talking with Bjorn.
It's really been 2 years. It has, and much has happened recently. And you're telling me there's dragons about now, and he's the fellow who kills them? He is the Dragonborn.
Everyone looks up, startled as the shadow of a flying dragon passes over them, and they hear the dragon roar.
Guess we'll be finding out now.
Thank you for listening to the scriptcast of Enthralled, a Skyrim story in 4 parts. But a scriptcast is simply a means to an end, as the goal of every script is to see that it gets produced. To that end, I will soon begin crowdfunding as a means to finance the production of this story as a live-action webisode series. I will post a link below and ask that if you enjoyed Enthralled, you will help us bring it to life. Thank you.